Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are currently on Gemini 10, where we are of course going to be docking with one of our target vehicles and rendezvousing with the other. We do not dock with it here, but we do rendezvous with it. So we already docked to this upper one, so I think we're going to dock to the lower one this time. That seems absolutely fine. We're going to of course have to launch ourselves another Gemini rocket. And we should be bringing a scientist along just in case. Out of curiosity, what do we need in order to get that engine that I wanted for the Gemini rocket here? I just want to double check that really quick here. It was in one of these somewhere. I think it was like heavier rocketry, right? It's not the Kodiak. It was somewhere in here. Completely forgotten where it was. Perfect. That's ideal. No doubt about that. Unless we accidentally grabbed it. That's the Bobcat liquid fuel engine. I think that's the wrong size. What I wanted was the one that has the built-in fuel tanks as well. That's the one that's really, really necessary to create this rocket, so-called necessary to create this rocket. It would end up being in here somewhere, and I've completely forgotten where it is. No, it's this right here, the twin bore. Okay, so we need 160 for that. Noted. This is what we would need, and we would end up replacing some of our existing fuel tanks in that first stage for this. So 160 science, huh? 117 science, 116.5 is kind of hard to come by at this point. Unless we were to get it with a rule change, like I said previously. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think for now, all we're going to do is we're going to do this. So let's go ahead and launch our Gemini. This is the previous flight here, the Gemini 8. This is going to be exactly the same rocket, but we would end up replacing these tanks here and these engines with that single module. And that would, I think, be, well, it would definitely be more accurate to what the actual Gemini rocket looked like. So that would be definitely true. But I think for now, all we're going to do is we're going to get this done. So in that case, we know that we are in one 100-kilometer orbit and then one, like, 250-kilometer orbit. Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch us, yeah, that's a 100-kilometer and a 270-kilometer orbit. So I'm going to launch us into a 100-kilometer orbit here. That'll be absolutely fine. Throttle up, SAS on. Oh boy, okay. We need to move this up over here. Drogue chutes move here. And we need to have this guy move about here. I forgot about the staging issues that we had. Okay, those are good. So off we go. Wonderful. So, of course, we're going to be looking to go reasonably straight up for a while until probably about 200, 250 meters per second, as we have been with this slightly underpowered lifting rocket. That'll be fine. So, we're currently moving at about 200. I think we'll keep going straight up until a 20-kilometer apoapsis. Yeah, I'm more comfortable with that. So that'll be fine for now, but I'm going to get a small amount of horizontal speed going here. Somewhere around here. There we go. So we're just looking to punch up through the atmosphere as quickly as possible due to the underpowered nature of our rocket here. 20-kilometer apoapsis as of now. So let's start heading on over and transitioning to horizontal speed. Definitely trying to go a bit southward on us here, but we can get that under control. No problem whatsoever there. We're just heading directly on over to the horizon. And we're going to burn at the horizon once we arrive there. We're going to burn at the horizon until we reach a 100-kilometer apoapsis. Well, actually, it should be 70, shouldn't it? Because we need to... Yeah, it should be 70. Because we need to circularize at about 100 kilometers. Okay. There we go. Now that we ditch our first stage, we will, of course, have an easier time holding attitude here. But we need to burn here until about 70, 75 kilometers, somewhere around there, because we're going to have to do a rendezvous. So that'll be okay. We're not launching directly into a 100-kilometer orbit unless this thing was, you know, right where we're going to be when we're going to be there. And we did not time the launch, so that's not the way that's going to work. This is going to be a fairly hefty burn on the circularization. We're still pretty low on our horizontal speed here. So a circularization burn is going to take some time. That does mean that we should target probably about 75 kilometers instead of 70. We definitely shouldn't target 70 kilometers here. 80 might even be better. But the further away we can be, the fewer orbits we're going to need before we can get a decent lineup. Not that it really matters all that much, but yeah, we want to get about 75 kilometers, I think, is what we're targeting here. And we're only at 64. We need to keep that in mind. Time to apoapsis is currently going down as well. We need to keep that in mind too. That said, that will change very soon. In fact, it's changing right now. It's about to start going up. There we go. Time to apoapsis, going up. Beautiful. However, our apoapsis is still not in space yet. That first stage is quite underpowered. There's no doubt about it. If we just had an additional even 15 seconds of burn out of it, that would be magnificent. Absolutely wonderful that would be. But we're about to push up to 70-kilometer apoapsis. Just reorienting ourselves at the horizon here. 72, 73, 74, 75. Okay, we'll call that good. And that did get us basically all of our horizontal speed that we needed, so that's great. This is actually not going to be that much of a burn here. We could have targeted 70 kilometers, I think, but it's still not ideal. I like to have the little bit of extra space here. So this will be fine. Only 60 kilometers, 60 kilometers per second to get into orbit from here would be insane. No, we're 60 meters per second to get into orbit. Ooh, physics warping. Okay, I did not expect a physics warp here. Right, we're not in space yet. We are technically still in the atmosphere. So let's let that head on up. We'll just align for this. And we're going to hit space here in just a moment. 500 meters to go. 300. 100 meters to go. And we're in space. Beautiful. So that's all good. This is going to be about a 5-second burn. We've got plenty of time to get that done. Not quite aligned the way we want to be. There we go, something along those lines. And we'll warp on forward a little further. 30 seconds, 20, 10, and mark. This should, of course, be a pure prograde burn. And we just want our periapsis above 70 kilometers. This is fine. So now we're going to set the Agena target vehicle as our target. If we were to burn at this apoapsis and raise up the periapsis, that's actually pretty close. Okay, I think we're going to have to add an orbit. That's actually really close. So right about here, 11.7 kilometers, that's definitely something that we can work with. Guess a little closer, 9.6. Okay, so that looks great. No problem there. We're going to dock to that craft, and then we're going to go rendezvous with the other, and then we're going to head home. That's the idea. Should be a pretty easy mission profile, all things considered. We are heading very far over where I thought we were going to stop. Okay, that's fine. We've got 51 minutes to get lined up to this. That's absolutely no problem whatsoever. Okay, so something about like that. We're going to drift off a bit. We'll have to correct it when we get back. That's okay. This is going to be a pure prograde burn, so we'll head over towards prograde. We can actually see the vehicle out over here. About 70 kilometers away right now. Cool. Let's align a little bit closer to the maneuver node here. And 20 seconds. 10. And 3, 2, 1, 0. Mark. That should be good enough. What do we got? 9.6 kilometers? Oh yeah, that'll do. So we're going to head on over to about here, and then we'll start doing some corrective burns. What's our relative speed going to be? 46.1? Yeah, that's fine. So we can see we're pretty far off over here. So I want to burn towards target. Here we're going to do a corrective burn out over this direction. So we're going to be bringing our prograde marker over here, pulling that on over onto the target marker. A little bit more correction here. Okay, that'll do. Now we're going to head around to retrograde, and we'll do further corrections while braking. Just wanted to be heading in a little bit faster here. So we'll head over to target retrograde. Beautiful. And this, of course, we push. So I'm going to do a small corrective burn over this way. Actually, it's going to have to be a relatively hefty one at these speeds. There we go. Something along the lines of that. That'll do. We're going to need more corrections on the way in, for sure. But let's warp in a little closer. There we go. And let's brake. We're going to head over to target retrograde now. Okay. And here we are. We're not perfectly on target, but we didn't expect to be perfectly on target, to be honest. But we can get aligned up. This is fine. This is no problem at all. So we're just going to kill our relative speed down to hopefully 0.0. There we go. And we are going to, if I can select it, set this Clampatron Docking Port Junior as our target if you stop going away on me. There we go. Cool. Now we need to align to target, so we're going to hop over here and align. Something along the lines of... That's not quite the directionality I thought we were heading in. We need to head this way and just line up with the target marker. And of course, we're going to have to line up the target marker here. So set that as target. That's kind of moving on us, but something along the lines of that. And let's get lined up here. This is probably close enough for docking forces to take over, to be honest, once we move in a little bit. But I just want to get this angled in like that. There we go. Now, I'm not going to use engines here to move us in. We're going to use RCS. As we apparently drift off here. Okay. Oh, that's moving away. Hang on. We want to move towards the target. There we go. I'm just adjusting our trajectory ever so slightly here. We're moving in at 0.2 meters per second. Which is more than fast enough. We're about 10 meters away right now. Looks good. Slight trajectory changes here and there. Five meters away. Backing us off to 0.1 meters per second. Trajectory is looking good. 3 meters away. And docked. Docking force is taking over at the end there. Fantastic! So here we are. That is half of our mission completed. The other half of our mission is, of course, we're going to undock from here. That's all we do here right now, is we're just going to immediately undock, and then we need to rendezvous with the other vehicle. We're not going to dock with it. We are just going to rendezvous. So we'll undock from it. Docking was, of course, successful, and we're going to just get ourselves a little bit of momentum away from the vehicle. There we go. And we're going to set the other Agena target vehicle as our target. So we're going to look, there's a small ascending node differentiation here, but we're going to look to push out our orbit. This timing is not terrible, actually. I don't want all of those normal burns, thanks. Yeah, this timing looks really good, actually. Not bad at all. So we can definitely bring our separation down a bit, but 7 kilometers is close enough. We can get the rest of the way through corrective burns. I like it. We're going to turn our SAS on here, and we're going to head on over for that burn. That burn will be in about 6 minutes, and will be in this direction. So we have no danger of striking the existing Agena target vehicle. That's good. And yeah, this timing is almost ideal. Very, very good, the way that this lined up. I like it. So we're going to warp on forward now that we're in position for the burn. And we're going to commence this burn shortly. It's going to be about 100 meters per second. 30 seconds. 20. 10. And now. Cool. 40 meters per second to go in the burn. 1.4 meters per second. Okay, this is probably close enough. I'm just chasing the node a little bit here. Yeah, that's good enough. So we'll head on over to the prograde marker. Let's see how we did there. 92.9 meters per second relative speed and 7 kilometer separation. Not bad. Not bad. So we're going to warp on over to about here. And up we go. And there's the other Agena target vehicle, currently about 20 kilometers away. And we're getting our in-space highs here. Oh, we didn't bring Bob. I intended to bring Bob. Oh well. We'll collect this data. We can only get the one, I guess. And I do want to be over in the prograde mode here, I think. Why are we heading to retrograde? I guess we're just in a weird tumble right now? Yeah. So what we need to do is we need to pull our prograde marker over towards here. So we're pulling the prograde marker over and getting ourselves a corrective burn here. There we go. 0.1 kilometers. I like it. So now we're, of course, going to have to swap around to retrograde on our way in. Let's get into position for that. And we can see that we do already need a bit of a corrective burn. And we're going to have to start braking here pretty soon, too. So we're going to brake off in this direction. Pushing that right on over. Cool. We've overshot it slightly here. Okay, we're coming in very fast. Cool. That came up a little bit faster than I was anticipating, but it's fine. We can definitely get that under control. Okay. We're down to 2.3 meters per second right now, and of course, we need to flip around over here and just burn directly at the target at this point. We're gonna have to do some corrective burn, but that's fine. No major issues there. Okay, so I'm gonna turn RCS on, and we're going to do some correction here. There we go. And we're going to want to probably think about braking here a bit. Down to 1 meter per second. We're not actually docking with this vehicle, remember. So that's fine. We're just heading on in. Technically, this is close enough to be considered a rendezvous, for sure. We came in a little spicy. I'm not going to lie about that one. We definitely came in a wee bit spicy. But we're just going to rendezvous and station keep, and then we'll leave. That'll be the goal here. So let's head on in a little bit here, warping in a little bit closer. There we go. Changing our trajectory a little bit and braking. Okay. Just getting those trajectory changes done there. And bringing us down. I think we'll break at around, I don't know, 10-meter distance. That seems okay. So we can warp in a little closer then. Now that we're 0.1 meters per second apart. Okay. Let's do a little bit of trajectory changing here. This would help if I didn't have SAS on. And I suppose we don't need SAS on at this time. So that's fine. 11 meters away right now. And let's brake. Okay. So we'll call that station keeping. Looks good. I think we still have technically some small amount of speed towards the vehicle. Yeah, I can see we're drifting towards it a little bit here. So we can do something kind of like that. I think now we're drifting to the side slightly, but it's close enough. That is definitely close enough. We would be able to dock if we so chose, but that is not in the mission parameters. So we are going to make our way on out of here. We need to go to surface retrograde, or rather orbital retrograde. Orbital retrograde, and let's just warp on over. Cool. And let's get out of here. It's time for Gemini 10 to go home. And I guess we may as well close our doors on our Science Junior. That'll be fine. So let's bring our periapsis on down as we brake here. Down to about 10 kilometers, as we have been doing. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. That'll do. So we now no longer need this fuel. We can jettison that. There we go. And we'll head on down. What are we going to be coming down onto? Oh, that's definitely a land landing. Okay, that's exciting. I should have checked that, but oh well. It's fine. We're going to hop over to retrograde, and we'll physics warp as long as we feel safe. It should be safe all the way down, I think. So that should be reasonably okay. We'll aero brake here. I really don't like how flickery the flag is. That makes me very sad. Very sad indeed. But that's okay. We are at 2.3 kilometers per second. It's certainly going to be a land landing. Maybe we'll get some science out of it. That would be nice. So we're definitely listing off to the side, but that's pretty normal for this re-entry, for this particular craft. And we're slowing down so much, right? Our surface velocity is currently 700 meters per second. Like, we can get our drogues out and our main. And it's completely fine. SAS can be off at this point. And yeah, completely safe re-entry. I like it. So we're almost done with the Gemini program at this point. That is Gemini 10 completed. Gemini 11 includes docking with a target vehicle and raising the apogee to at least 1,400 kilometers, which is a lot of kilometers. No doubt about that. And that's using the engine on the Agena target vehicle, for the record. So that would be the plan there. And then for Gemini 11, or that was 11. For Gemini 12, we're going to need to dock to the uncrewed target vehicle and perform some sort of a fancy EVA spacewalk. Okay, so we can definitely grab some of this stuff. We'll EVA and grab a surface sample. I probably should have physics warped before we landed. We might not have lost some of those parts, but it's fine. We'll grab a surface sample anyway, and we'll recover that. We, of course, are going to have to get our payment for this. Did I mention what Gemini 12 was going to be? Oh yeah, an EVA spacewalk and dock to the uncrewed target vehicle. Just for difficulty's sake, we'll probably go to the one that we raised the apogee to at least 1,400 kilometers. Most likely. And then that will be the end of the Gemini program at that point. From there, we're going to do the Vokshad program. I'm not sure how long that is. I have to flesh that one out in our notepad. So that'll be absolutely fine. And then after that, we'll do some Soyuz work. And then the interesting stuff will start happening with Apollo. So that'll be great. I mean, the Soyuz stuff is interesting, to be sure. But some of the stuff is a little bit repetitive. There's no doubt about that. However, we need to get our payment. So we're going to do that. And then it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. And next episode, we are going to raise the apogee to 1,400 kilometers of one of our target vehicles. Probably our lower one is the one I'm thinking right now. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.